from the Keys, so we've been out on the sun all day.
Just real quick, I just
Yeah.
want to know about your childhood, your name, your birthday.
Yeah, so we'll
About
start
your
with
kids.
like an intro first of
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go.
All right. My name is Charlie Daniel Cabrera. My father is Rosalio, aka Charlie Cabrera. I'm 39 years old. I was born in 1981. Um, I live in West Palm Beach. I was born and raised here. Um, I am married. I have my wife Jenny, and I have three boys: Daniel, Alec, and Carter. Um, I currently live here in Palm Beach. Still, like I said, I was born and raised.
How did you meet your wife?
Met my wife through some mutual friends. They were kind of told me like, "Hey, man, we got this girl. We think that she might be good for you," and so that was it. We met her the first time. She kind of played a little hard to get.
That was your first impression of her. What did she do?
She was actually a bartender.
She was a bartender.
Yeah, her family owned a
Oh,
nightclub
okay.
slash restaurant, so she worked for her family on the
okay.
weekends and would do that there. And so that she worked as a bartender, and then during the week she was in college. So
Okay. And what was your first impression of her aside from she's playing hard to get?
I think maybe that's what kind of got me. She was attractive, but she was just kind of playing hard to get. I was like, oh, all right, yeah.
And especially because she was in a high traffic area.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you must put up with so much.
Yep. So
Yeah. And then how did you feel when you first had your first child? What was that experience like for you?
it was. It felt unreal. Like it was at first it was just like I can't believe like it's happening. Like I'm having a kid. Like, but it was a great feeling. It was awesome. It was a great time in our life. We had our first son Daniel. So.
And then in the second one, how did the second one come about?
Well, it came about because my wife was like, "Oh, let's try for a girl after the first one," and I was like, "All right, fine." So we tried, and ended up being another boy, which is Alec. So, but it was great. Another boy. God blessed us with another boy who's healthy. So.
And then after that.
And then, let's see, like 8, 9 years later, my wife through those years like, "Hey, we should try for a girl," and I was always like, "Nah, let's not. We were good. We have two boys." So finally, 8 years later, from our middle child, we had another one, which was Carter, and he's been like the best thing having a third child. It just the boys love him. We love it. It's just been great with him. So
he's really just balanced out the family.
It almost like made our life was complete before, but now like having like a little one in our life just made it whole like complete again. I don't know. It was great. So.
And then so y'all ended with Carter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's it. Yeah, three boys.
And then, how was your childhood with your father? Because your father is just, we all know he's amazing. What was that like being the firstborn son to such amazing parents?
It was awesome. My biggest memories I think I remember of being with my dad was, I was really into wrestling.
Oh.
Yeah. Like watching wrestling on TV and
like professional or like WWE?
Yeah, like WWE on TV, like Hulk Hogan, all these guys. I'd watch it all the time, and he would take me to wrestling matches, like live ones. I mean, we'd even like wrestle in the living room and stuff. Like I would pretend I'm a wrestler, and he would always do things like that. I mean, he was always patient. He was just always a great dad.
Wow, he was really hands on.
Yeah,
and I can see it paid off.
Yeah,
because it taught you how to be.
Yeah, I think he taught me a lot of things. He's always like a handy guy. So I'm not as good as him, but I mean I could do a lot of kind of some of the things that he can do and stuff like that. So he kind of showed me that kind of stuff. He's always like a hands-on guy, fixing things and things like that. And I could fix certain things to a certain extent. So
yeah. And Grandma Cabrera, his mother, Jesus, how was your relationship with her, and what was she like? Because I didn't get to meet her.
She was. She was good. We would see, so we lived a little bit of a distance from her.
Okay.
And so we didn't really see her like every week we'd see her like every so often like that. But she was just super nice. She, what else can I explain? She was just a very nice, humble woman. What else? She wasn't like a big cook. On unlike, because I had another grandma, my mom's mom, which she was like, she catered to me growing up. She would cook. She's like, "Oh, Mijo, you want how many tacos do you want?" And she would make me like 10 to 15 tacos, and I remember that. But my dad's mom, she wasn't a big cook, so we'd go visit her. We would just more like hang out. She would just talk and ask us how everything was and things like that. She was a little older, so she wasn't like super active where we would like go and do stuff and things like that. But she was great.
And your mom is just, as soon as she came into the room when I first met her, I felt the energy shift and she took control of the whole room. What was it like having her for like a mother too?
She was good. She was more the strict one.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
my dad was more the calm one. Yeah, she was more. I would say I don't want to say she wore the pants in the house, but she was more like firmer, sterner, like the one that was like more serious. But no, she was good. She kind of spoiled me as a first child. I mean, I kind of got a lot of things growing up that I wanted. So I mean, I would say as a first child, they kind of spoiled me. So
It is the way.
yeah,
It is the way for people.
yeah.
And I was gonna say, and what do you want for the future of your children?
I would just want them to be like, I kind of try to show them the right path of certain things, but I've seen things, done things in life, and I try to, from my experience, I try to like steer my kids in like the right way to explain to them the things in life that could lead them the wrong way. But just growing up, getting an education,
Education.
um, let's see, just choosing the right path in life.
The same for your great
Yeah, just
grandchildren.
continuing to like study about God, go to church, um, get a career, eventually a family, things like that. So
Okay. And what is like an impression, like someone you're always gonna remember that just left a really strong, innate impression on you? And what was that impression? Like, how did that happen?
somebody in my life,
Yeah, that just
anybody.
anybody that just really imprinted on you that you're like, wow, I'm gonna pass that down. It just became a part of you. That that value system or that personality.
Probably my dad, I would imagine. I mean, he's taught me a lot of stuff. He's just an all around good guy, hands on, just like I said in the past and before. Um, he's made an impression. And obviously, my mom too, but probably, I mean, I'd say they're probably right around the same. They both showed me the good values in life and, the rights and the wrongs and stuff like that. So I'd have to probably say probably both of them, my parents. Um, yeah.
Yeah, they are wonderful. They really are. Okay. And for your great grandchildren, do you think ahead, like, you know, later, aside from that you're being their great grandfather, like, what can you share about your personality?
I mean, I don't really think that far ahead in life. Probably I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but things that I would probably just the same things I would want for my kids. Just try and teach them the right things, the wrong things, if possible. Um, excuse me.
Like, how do you deal with conflict?
Um, I'm a pretty laid back person for the most part. I'm kind of like my dad, I would imagine a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I deal with it pretty good. I kind of try to deal with it and then just forget about it. Like once we try to handle it. I feel like my profession that I work in is make me a lot stronger person that most people probably. My wife says to me sometimes, "Oh, you're so cold hearted," and it's probably due to the fact of my career that I do and things I see and stuff like that. So,
And what is your career path that you ended up in?
I work for the fire department, so I'm a firefighter, paramedic. I've been doing that for about 16 years now.
How did you fall into that? That's I
Um,
don't hear many fire, like, you see them,
yeah,
but like to actually meet one, and
yeah.
talk to them.
So I remember my dad talking about it. We had a cousin in Texas that was a firefighter, and I always, as a little kid, you always love fire trucks, and you look at it, and you're like, wow, that's so cool. But I remember my dad one time talking about I had a cousin that in Texas that was like a firefighter or something. I was like, oh, it kind of sounded interesting. And then in high school, I kind of really didn't have I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and after I finished, and somehow it came up again, and I kind of tried to convince my friends to let's do it. Let's go to fire academies, become firefighters, and they were like, yeah. And then here come along, I was the only one that ever did it. And, I've been doing it for 16 years now, and it's the best job ever. They say if you work what is it? When you go to work and, I forgot the
I know
saying.
the thing because I'm looking for that too. I haven't found it yet.
It's if you love your job, you never work a day or something
Yeah,
like that.
you never
like,
work a day in your life.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, so no, it's the schedule's great, like the pay is well, so it's like a second family being there because I pretty much live there at the station I go away from my family for 24 hours. I stay at the fire station, and then I come back the next day. So I'm there for a whole 24 hours. So those guys that I work with, kind of like I've worked with a lot of the same guys for the last, I don't know, 10 years.
That's awesome.
So, things like that. But.
And your kids, how did you choose their names?
Let's see. Well, my oldest son, my middle name is Daniel, so we were like, let's name him Daniel. So his name is Daniel. And then my middle one, Alec, I don't know how we chose it. We just kind of, we were like, we were going back and forth with names, and we were like Alex, and like, now let's make it a little different. So we went with Alec. So, and then Carter, I think that was just more of like a cool name. We're like, that sounds cool, like a kid named Carter. So that's how we named him.
Mm-hmm. The surname Carter is actually, I don't know how I guess studying kind of history. Mm-hmm. The people with the last name Carter are supposedly descendants of Cartier. And if they were people of color, they were forced to change the last name to Carter if they wanted to receive an education. Oh. Just a fun fact.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, well, that concludes anything that you want to add on that I've maybe missed over. Because I know you're tired, you've been traveling.
No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean,
yeah, I got a hobby from you. I got to know about
my profession, my family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, are there any other? I don't know. I can't think of anything else about myself.
Yeah, I asked, what do you want to tell, pass down some words of wisdom to the children of the future?
Yeah. Actually, I do have something about passing down, so obviously we all grow up and we think we know everything growing up, especially myself. My parents, I remember them telling me trying to explain to me you're, they're trying to show you the ways of life, and you're just like, yeah, I know. So, and I see that in my kids now, I'll try to explain to them because of my things I've done in the past or seen, and I try to explain to them, and they're like, yeah. So what I would explain is basically even though you're growing up and you think you know everything, listen to somebody that has experienced things in life that's already, maybe they've done it or seen it. Just listen to them a little bit more. Maybe if they explain something to you, hey, I've seen this before in life. This might not work out for you. Listen to their advice. Things like that. So that would be
save you some trouble.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
Alrighty.